and start. Jai Jagannath, here we
Jai
are
Jagannath.
for verse 2 of Bhagavad Gita. So, Drishvatu Pandavarnikam Vyudham Duryodhanastada Acharyam Upasangamyam Raja Vachanam Abravit. Sanjaya said, after observing the Pandav army arranged in a strategic position for the battle, the king Duryodhana approached the Acharya, Drona, the teacher of military arts, and spoke to him as follows. Now, uh, we'll read the purport, the explanation,
As
commentary.
you like, Mataji, what you
Okay.
see fit.
If it's useful, otherwise we'll go faster.
Sure, okay.
Okay, Duryodhana is the eldest son of Dhritarashtra, appointed by his father as the king of the Kuru dynasty. The word Raja, king, used here indicates that Duryodhana has already advanced his claim to the throne. However, Yudhishthira and Dhritarashtra are called Raja too. Drona was appointed by Bhishma as the teacher of weaponry, who trained all the Kuru princes, not only the sons of Dhritarashtra but also the 5 sons of Pandu. He was a student of Parashuram like Bhishma, Drona, and also like Karna, by the way. Drona means water pot or test tube. If we like, this refers to the fact that Drona was born from the sperm of Bharadwaja Rishi that was collected in a pot. During his childhood days, Drona had become friends with Drupada, the heir to the throne of Panchal. Later, after his marriage with Kripi and the birth of their son Ashwatthama, Drona found himself in financial difficulties and went to see his old friend to ask for his help. However, Drupada had recently become king and was still inebriated by his new position. So he treated him offensively. Drona swore to take revenge and decided to train one extraordinary student who would humiliate Drupada. And for this, he first needed to become the military guru of the most powerful royal family of his times, the Kuru dynasty. Pleased by his favorite pupil's progress, Drona asked Arjuna to repay him for the teachings he had received. And as a Guru Dakshina, he ordered him to defeat King Drupada and bring him to his presence as a prisoner. Brooding revenge against Drona, Drupada returned home and started a sacrifice ritual for the birth of Drishtadyumna and Draupadi. So, this is the revenge idea, what is going to bring only trouble.
Hmm.
Acharya. This title is given to the best teachers who oversee the other brahmanas. With time and degradation of the varnas into castes, this title came to be passed on like a family name without consideration for actual qualifications. Just like Goswami, Pandita, or Panda, Vairagi, Dvivedi, Trivedi, Chaturvedi, and so on. It is interesting to note that still today the family name is called title by most Indians. We should not become confused by the application of the term Acharya, Guru, and Brahmana to a person who shows traits that are opposite to the character of a Brahmana. Gita states, Samodamastapasocham Kshantir Arjavam Evacha Jnanam Vijnanam Ashtikyam Brahma Karma Swabhavajam. Peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom, and religiousness. These are the natural qualities determining the duties of the Brahmana. Again, in the Mahabharata, Manaparva, chapter 180, we find Satyam Dhanam Kshama Silam Anrishyam Sam Tapo Grina Drishyante yatra nagendra sa brahmana iti smrita. A person who is truthful, charitable, forgiving, sober, kind, austere, and free from hatred is called a brahmana. So, is Drona actually a brahmana? Meh. Maybe not.
Right.
Okay. Not very forgiving. It sometimes happens that the unqualified descendant of Brahmanas is also called a Brahmana. Out of respect for his family and as a form of encouragement, encouragement means positive affirmations often that positive affirmations often inspire people to actually live up to the expressed expectations of others. So if you say, call someone a Brahmana, they will think, okay, maybe I should make an effort to actually be a Brahmana, right?
I see.
Unless, of course, he goes too far into adharmic behaviors. In such case, he will be called Brahma Bandhu, relative of Brahmanas, or Brahma Atmaja, son of a Brahmana, generated physically by a Brahmana, as demonstrated by Krishna in the Bhagavad Purana to refer to Ashwatthama, the son of Drona. So, if someone is not qualified, he cannot actually be called a Brahmana.
Mm-hmm.
He might, but it's not that he should. You can do, but it's not the actual system. You can just do it out of kindness, politeness. Okay. Verse 3. Pasaitam panduputranam acharya mahatim chamum. Yudham drupada putrena tavasishena dhimata. Acharya, look at this strategic arrangement of the great army of the sons of Pandu, organized by your very intelligent and wise disciple, the son of Drupada. So, the intelligent disciple of Drona mentioned in this verse is Drishtadyumna, brother-in-law and ally of Arjuna. We may remember here that Drishtadyumna, like his sister Draupadi, was born from the sacrificial fire of King Drupada, who wanted to obtain a progeny that would bring about the destruction of his enemy Drona. From Duryodhana's words, we can see that he's actually scared and angry about the impressive arrangement of the Pandavas' army. And he blames Drona for it, subtly accusing him of having lavished his best teachings on Drishtadyumna, who is now turning his knowledge and expertise against him. In the eyes of a politician like Duryodhana, this is an unforgivable mistake. But in the eyes of a Brahmana, it is a commendable choice of selflessness and straightforwardness that might even have been an indirect act of atonement for his own rash and arrogant behavior that originally antagonized Drupada. Means he was, Drona was feeling a bit guilty probably. Or a hidden message about his deep motivation for it. By favoring Drupada's son with his teachings, Drona was showing that his decision to humiliate Drupada was not a personal vendetta, but an important teaching to the royal class about the unwise choice of disrespecting Brahmanas and betraying their trust.
Mataji, can I ask a question, please?
Sure.
Earlier, right? Yeah. Now, could Drona be seen as a Brahmin because he wants to get the message across?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying here. Because Drona superficially appears to have behaved not as a Brahmana because he wanted to humiliate Drupada.
Mm-hmm.
Probably he felt guilty about that. Because Drona was not stupid and was not ignorant. He knew very well that a Brahmana should not behave like he behaved.
I see.
Now, maybe he was trying to, what to say, turn the cards on the table, pretending that he had, taken that disgraceful action, to teach people not to disrespect the Brahman.
I see.
Well, maybe. But
Okay.
it doesn't sound like,
Fair enough.
doesn't smell like. Because, like, for example, when we had a real Brahmana, Vashishta,
Anji.
who had this clash with Vishwamitra, Vashishta didn't try to humiliate Vishwamitra.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't try to take him prisoner and, show him that he was a piece of,
Yeah.
garbage. Simply Vashishta stood there. He stopped Vishwamitra by the army produced from, by the Kamadhenu,
Anji.
and he didn't attack. He didn't actually attack anyone. He just defended,
Mm-hmm.
the Kamadhenu. The Kamadhenu actually defended herself.
Right, right.
It's not that Vashishta sent the army of the Kamadhenus to Vishwamitra's house.
Mm-hmm.
When Vishwamitra was, happily watching TV. He actually, the army of the Kamadhenu just defended the Kamadhenu and stopped Vishwamitra from kidnapping her.
Mm-hmm.
And Vashishta himself, he didn't do anything, he was just standing there with his Brahmadanda, and all the weapons thrown by Vishwamitra were absorbed by his Brahmadanda. He didn't do anything.
Oh, wow.
So Vashishta is famous as one of the great rishis, not just a
Anji.
Brahmana. So
Mm.
that's why Vishwamitra, seeing that all his aggressiveness was not going anywhere,
Mm-hmm.
he realized that the power of a Brahmana is greater than the power of a Kshatriya, even if the Brahmana doesn't go around and play the Kshatriya.
Anji.
Just by his tolerance and his endurance and his standing solid with Dharma, the Brahmana is much more powerful than anybody else.
Anji.
So
I see.
Vishwamitra decided he wanted to become a Brahmana. And actually, Vashishta taught him
Anji.
how to become a Brahmana. And when Vishwamitra qualified, he happily accepted him as a Brahmana.
Mm-hmm.
So you see, Drona was not exactly, very transparent in his actions.
I see.
It
Okay.
was
Mm.
not up to the standard.
Oh, okay.
And this is also the reason why later on during the battle, Drona was fighting so fiercely that nobody could stop his aggression. He was going around very aggressively on the battlefield because he was a general at that time. So
Anji.
he was leading the fight and he was fighting himself. And nobody could stop him, and so Arjuna was, saying, what are we going to do with that? How can we stop Drona? He's killing everyone.
Okay.
And Krishna, called Yudhishthira and said, okay, Yudhishthira, now shout, that Ashwatthama is dead. Because by hearing this, Drona would lose the will to fight.
Right.
Because he was not fighting to protect Dharma, he was fighting for his own business.
I see.
For
Yes.
his own salary.
Mm-hmm.
So, and his salary was basically to maintain his son,
Anji.
Ashwatthama. So, Yudhishthira said, no, I am not going to tell a lie. Then Krishna said, okay, yeah, you're right. You don't need to tell a lie. So he called Bhima and said, okay. In that that army, the Duryodhana's army, there is one elephant who's called Ashwatthama. Okay, so then Yudhishthira said, okay, that's not exactly a lie. So after the elephant Ashwatthama was killed by Bhima, Yudhishthira shouted, Ashwatthama! And then, soft voice, the elephant, he's dead,
I see.
So that's clever, That's not going against truthfulness.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
the higher principle of Dharma was protected.
Right.
The problem is Satyam is the basic principle of Dharma, but we can work around it if it is necessary to protect the Dharma in the larger sense.
Right.
So I made the example many times, let's say you're sitting in front of your house and the child is coming running and, and scared and, all beaten up and, and little girl, she's not harming anyone, but
Mm-hmm.
she's obviously been harmed and she has escaped from her, aggressor. So the little girl hides inside your house.
Mm-hmm.
And you're sitting in front of the door. So the bad guy comes, running after the little girl, and he
Mm-hmm.
doesn't see her in the street, and asks you if you have seen a little girl.
Mm-hmm.
If you tell him the truth,
Uh-huh.
you are going to break Dharma in a worse manner.
Okay.
Because it's, if you just say, no, I didn't see anyone, that's a lie, but it's a dharmic lie.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the boundary can be pretty confusing sometimes.
Yeah.
That's why we need more expert people to help us understand what's the best course of action, how to uphold Dharma in the best way. So what happened when Drona got the idea that his son was dead, he realized that his behavior in general had been disgraceful, and the only reason why he had disgraced himself as a Brahmana was the protection, welfare, and maintenance of his son. And now that reason had gone.
Uh,
So he decided to actually become a real Brahmana. So he sat on the battlefield and he did his purification and he started meditation. So
mm.
that's how Drona was taught.
It's interesting, Mataji. Now, wasn't it Drupada who actually did a sacrifice to get a son, Drishtadyumna?
Yeah.
Um, could he foresee that what Duryodhan was going to do in the future?
Not specifically because his beef, as they say, was with Drona,
Okay.
not with. I think at that time still Pandu was there
Okay.
because Pandu occupied the throne for some time.
Okay.
Before Dhritarashtra became the regent king,
Anji.
Pandu actually became the king.
Right.
So then after becoming a king, because he was having, he didn't have children yet, so he went to the forest one day for hunting, and he mistakenly killed a brahmana, rishi, who was having a romantic meeting with his wife.
Right.
So he saw some bushes moving, and he thought that it was some animal.
Mm-hmm.
So Pandu shot an arrow, very stupidly. I don't know what happened to him, you know. So he killed the Brahmana, and he got cursed.
Yes. Oops.
At that point, Pandu gave up the throne
Mm.
because he wanted to prepare for death. At
Right.
that point, his brother Dhritarashtra took the position of the regent king.
Mm.
So, in the meantime, Drupada and Ashwatthama were having their own story.
Okay.
Then Dhritarashtra had his 100 sons, and Pandu had his 5 sons. And then the problem started. And, in the same time, I believe that Drishtadyumna was slightly older than the Pandavas.
Okay.
But he was not younger, because Drupadi was Drishtadyumna's sister.
Okay.
I don't know if she was a twin or if she was born after Drishtadyumna. I don't remember this
Mm-hmm.
information, but definitely Draupadi was the same age of the Pandavas.
Mm-hmm. I see.
The same age of Arjuna, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, should I go on?
Please.
Okay, because we are almost there. A
Okay.
vyuha is a strategic arrangement of troops used in Kshatriya warfare. Many vyuhas of different shapes are recorded in the Vedic literature. Specifically, the vyuha chosen by Drishtadyumna for the beginning of the battle is the one called Vajra, the lightning, in response to the Garuda or ego formation of the Kauravas. In the Vajra vyuha, where swiftness of attack is paramount, the front line is armed with short-range weapons, while the archers come in the second line. In the Garuda Vyuha, the kings marched. Oops.
At the head.
Yeah, wait.
Uh-huh.
Okay, one sec. The
Sure, no
kings
problem.
marched at the head. The horsemen protected the wings, and the elephants formed the outer line of the body. Bhishma rode his chariot in the middle of the formation, as if seated on the eagle. This verse suggests that the proper use of intelligence, intellect, and foresight has a paramount importance in the understanding of life, both material and spiritual levels. Because without the proper application of dhi, thinking, everything becomes difficult. There are three basic principles in practical life and work. 1. Information. 2. Communication. 3. Strategy or planning. These apply to all enterprises, from daily household chores to professional and business ventures to the highest level of exchanges with a spiritual teacher about transcendental realization. Okay, so from verse 4 onwards, in a long, in a considerable number of verses, we have the list of the warriors
Anji.
who are present on the battlefield. Duryodhana is still speaking with Drona. So we have, there are great warriors, Maharathas, who are extremely skilled bowmen, Maheshwasa, of the same valor in battle of Bhima and Arjuna. such as Yudhudhana, Virata, and Drupada. Yudhudhana is, I think, one of the Yadus.
Right.
So, should we read it next time?
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Thank you.
Thank,
So we are going, slowly but surely.
yeah, sure, no problem.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mataji.
Jai.
I appreciate your time. Pranam.